through, squeeze through. All right, so the way that this works is I've got a few questions that I'm going to ask, questions that came out of a group of folks that we had gathered thinking about what we'd want to present today and what would be interesting to hear about. So the first question, Paul, is why did the church leave the old building to begin with? Why'd they go?
Because we had way too many people in that sanctuary. We were packed. And so our first thought was that, okay, we're going to remodel and make more room. However, this is a church that was built in 23, and when you remodel something, you have to meet the latest codes. And that building had a lot of code problems. Wherever you were going, you were either going upstairs or downstairs. And so we did look in remodeling it, but it would cost us about $1.2 million, and we would gain 10 seats.
Hear that? Over $1 million for 10 extra seats in the sanctuary.
So, are you going to ask or should I go on?
So what did you decide to do next?
We decided we're going to build a new church. There was a lot of discussion about that, and we had a meeting on Sunday afternoon. It took us a while. We let everybody give their opinion and so forth, and then a motion was made and seconded, and we voted. I don't remember the exact vote. I do remember it was about 174 and I think 25 against. And the ones that were against, they had legitimate concerns. We understand that.
So how did you figure out that you were going to build here where we are now?
Well, the next thing we had to do is we had to figure out how, we had been in contact with a architect in Sheboygan that was specialized in building churches. And they had preliminary drawings and so forth. And they estimated a new church is going to cost about $3.4 million. And you got to pay for that. And the first thing we did, we had funds at that time, like an endowment fund and building funds, so forth. We were going to use all that money to pay towards the new building. And then, of course, that's not enough. So we had to go to the parishioners to pledge money. And we had a company from, I believe from Minneapolis, that helped us out in how to do that. At that time, we had about 350 units. A unit is like a family or a single person or something like that. And this company told us that we should go to every unit in the church and ask them for a pledge. So we had a fairly good sized group of people volunteered to do that. Each one of us had about 5 people that we contact and say, we'd like to come and tell you about why we think we should build a new church. And then we also had the famous envelope. And in that envelope, there was a return envelope and a slip of paper that was a suggestion what that unit should pledge. And that was done very fast because you got 350 units. If you spend 1 minute on each one of those, that's almost 4 hours. So I think there were a lot of people, including me, that were surprised at what the church thought we should pledge. So.
But it worked.
Yeah, I coughed, and there was a lot of coughing going on around that time. But then we said we did not want them to give us any money. In fact, we refused. We told them, you decide, you think about it, and in a week's time, I'll come back and you put your pledge, seal it, put it in the envelope, give me the envelope, and I'll turn it in. I have absolutely no idea what people pledged. The only thing I know is they let me back in the house again.
We do have a book, a red book that is on the table in the library if you're interested in seeing it. It has a list of all the people who gave to build this building, not the amounts, but just the names. And when Paul showed me the book earlier this week, he pointed out that it was very intentional that it's just in alphabetical order and all the names appear exactly the same. You know, it's not like when you go to other places around town, nonprofits or whatever, and whoever the biggest donor is, their name is, great big, and the size of your name shows a little bit about how you gave. But the church was very intentional in this book that all the names are exactly the same size and exactly the same font, and it's just a list of everyone who pledged to build this building. So that's over on the library table if you want to take a look. So this land here in particular, how did we acquire it?
That is another interesting story. We had a committee that first of all, we wanted to build a church in Two Rivers, and also besides building a new church, we had a lot of people that were concerned about handicap access, and that was important to us. There was about 5-6 properties we looked at. Some of them were too small, some of them, we wanted people to see us. And we didn't want to be in a corner someplace. So we did have a offer to buy land on the northwest side of Two Rivers, and that did not go through. And okay, we're back to square one. And fortunately, the Green Bay Diocese of the Catholic Church owned this land. And they had intentions of building a church on this land, but things have changed. They consolidate. There were 4 Catholic churches. They consolidated into one church. They wanted to have that center. And of course, they would like the money to build for their building their church. So they had this for sale, and this is not quite 40 acres. And that was a little stiff for us to buy the whole works. So we asked them, would you let us buy half? And they agreed. When they gave us first refusal of buying the second half, which we eventually did on that. So that's why we bought this land here. And another thing is, it was not quite 20 acres here. The other place was about 5 or 6 acres.
So a big size difference.
Big size difference.
Can you say a little bit about how the building came to be shaped the way that it is?
Yes, that's also interesting. The architect was the one that actually, I think, brought it up. If we would have built it in the northwest side of Two Rivers, the shape of the building, you'd have the sanctuary, and the one wing would stick out this way, and the other wing would, so it would be like this. When we came up here, we asked them to reverse that. So now that the wings are out like this, and that's like two arms welcoming you in to the church. And that's why we had it designed like that.
What were some of the things that the church brought with us from the old building?
A lot of stuff. We had to find somebody to move this stuff. And after I retired from teaching, I worked for a contractor for a while. And we built a house for Dave DeRozier. And if you know Dave DeRozier, he has a company called Wisconsin Nationwide. A mover. I contacted them, and they said, sure, we'll move you. Only don't call us on Monday or Friday. Those are our busiest days. So they dropped the trailer off at the old building. We loaded it up, and guess when we ended? Thursday. So I called them, can we move this on Friday? He says, sure. They moved it up here because we had a lot of parishioners that were able to help us unload it. If you look at that, you'll see in that TV over there, they showed us unloading it. But then we had another load that we did not expect, so we wanted the trailer put back at the old building. However, on Monday of that week, the person that was going to do the parking lot wanted to start on Monday and did not want to have any vehicles up here. Everybody had to be down there, and our trailer was up here. Called Wisconsin Nationwide, sure, we'll come and get it early in the morning. They took it back, we loaded it up again, and brought that up, but not on Friday.
No.
So that's a story on that part.
So some of the things that you might see around that came from the old church, of course, there's a number of furniture pieces and stuff like that. But some of the most distinctive things is, of course, the Good Shepherd window came from the old church building, as did the stained glass that's below it on either side. The large wooden cross that hangs in the fellowship hall used to be the cross behind the altar in the sanctuary of the old building. But in designing this new sanctuary, the team said, bigger. We want it bigger.
A big cross. We want people to know we are a Christian community.
Yeah. So the one in the fellowship hall used to be behind the altar. And if you go in the adult study, there is an even smaller golden cross on the wall in the adult study. And that used to be the back cross in the old church, like in the mid-'80s. They had some reconstruction over there and redid the sanctuary and brought in that big one instead of the little one. But so there's little things all over brought from the old church.
And there's a lot of stuff down in the basement.
So Paul, obviously it was a community effort to make this happen. A lot of church members involved in the planning and design and the moving and the making it happen and the raising the funds and all that allowed this to happen. Were there other key figures in your mind that helped in ways we might not think about?
Oh yes, we had several people that I can think of. We had a contractor, Mel Erickson, a member of this church. Oh, by the one that I was talking to at Wisconsin Nationwide was Steve DeRozier. And I thought I was talking to Dave all the time. But we had Mel Erickson, a member of the church, that helped us build a garage. My budget on that garage was $10,000, and he built it for $5,000. We had other people that helped. Joe Brandt, who was a landscaper, he did the hill so that the hill would not have any washout and run down. Right behind, if you never walk back here, there is sort of a road back here, and this is a fire requirement. This fire department has to be able to get back here. So we have a road, but the problem is, back there, that's Picnic Hill, and if you look at it, it's a little bit higher. Runoff from that is going to come towards our building. So we had to have some way to get the water out. And we contacted Seiler Brothers, and if you know Irv Seiler, he gave us a very good offer. This is a very good Catholic member, and he still helped us out. There were others.
Yeah. And so in the end, the fundraising campaign was so successful that this building was built and the mortgage was paid off like within a year.
Within a year.
Right? That the congregation owed nothing on it.
What I remember that our pledge campaign didn't quite make the 3.4 million, but it was close enough that we knew we could start. And we did have people that had joined the church after the building was built, and we went out and asked them if they would like to pledge money for that. And so that kind of covered it. And we didn't do that anymore. However, if any of you would like to make a pledge for we'll still take it.
Thank you, Paul. I'm grateful for your leadership for the congregation those years ago and for all the ways you continue to lead our church today.
Okay, I got one more thing I want to say. I did not mention a lot of people, but I'm going to maybe embarrass a very important man who headed our building committee, and that's Jim Lester. What I want to say about Jim is that he was retired. He could be out cutting his lawn in his garden or a lawnmower. He volunteered to be our building head president, and he really, really worked hard. There's a lot of things, and if you build a new house, you know what it's like, the things you have to think about the building. I mean, a lot of what the things you're looking like, the lights and everything, our committee had to decide on things like that. And Jim spent a lot of time looking at where we could get stuff and save us money. I would estimate that Jim saved us around $200,000 in building this. Anyhow, but there's one other thing I want to say about Jim. If you know Jim, Jim lets you know where he stands. And what I really appreciated about him, he had a lot of ideas, and we talked about ideas. But if his idea was different than what the rest of the committee wanted to do, we had a vote, and Jim said, okay, that's what we're going to do. And never did I ever hear him say, well, that's not what I wanted to do. So it was really great leadership from him. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim. All right.
Okay, we're done
Ready?
here.
Okay, on with the show.
Welcome to the entertainment part of the program this morning. You are in for some wonderful Grace talent. We always want to hear more of the outstanding talent of Andrea Allington and Bill Hampton. Since Bill could not be with us this morning, Bruce is going to play a recording of the CD that Andrea and Bill made titled Songs for PK. So some of you probably have copies, but this one will make you smile. So just sit back and listen. okay to applaud. This group of ukulele players down here have been meeting during our Sunday school time for several months now, and have even played in our service once, and to rave ratings, yeah. They are playing some of their favorites for you now.
This is an audience participation kind of event, so sing along. You know it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wherever love is, God is there too. God is in me 'cause I love Him. Wherever love is, God is there too. God is wherever love is. Wherever love is, God is there too. God is in me 'cause I love Him. Wherever love is, God is there too. God is wherever love is. All right, our next one. Our next one is You Are My Sunshine. 1, 2. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. All right, our final song is a little birthday song for the church and also for Pentecost. So happy birthday to Grace. 1, 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Grace. Happy birthday to you.
You want this, Jen? We're always thrilled to hear the beautiful clarinet playing of Rita Lumbres, whether accompanying the choir or playing a solo or the Lakeshore Wind Ensemble. She does that too. Now we hear her accompanied by Andrea Allington. And the on switch is still, there we go. Since part of Faye's song is in Spain today, we get to hear just the two of them today.
Keith and Cheryl are on a world tour.
Thank
father and son. Which one is which? Brian and Noah make up this really duet of really familiar songs. Once you do that before you can. Neighbors, this folk song from Ghana, features mother and twins and their backup group.
should serve. These are the ones we should love. All these are neighbors to us and you. Jesus, Jesus, fill us with your love. Show us how to serve the neighbors we have from you. Show us how to love. Serving as though we were slaves, mastering us to serve with you. Jesus, Jesus, fill us with your love. Show us how to serve the neighbors we have from you. Show us how to love. Show us how to serve the neighbors we have from you.
Oh, we forgot to bow. Sorry. That was, I taught them to bow yesterday, and I forgot. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. We are doing Fill My Cup, Lord. Is this mic okay now for her, Bruce? Because it was a,
Grab one of the wireless ones there.
she should use this one. Fill My Cup, Lord. This song is from the repertoire of a British group who call themselves Cry Hosanna. Their songs are all very worshipful and easy to listen to, as this one is.
Like the woman at the well, I was seeking for things that could not satisfy. But then I heard my Savior speaking, draw from my well that never shall run dry. Fill my cup, Lord,
Olivia on here? In you, Lord, I have found my peace. The innocence of childhood is felt in this sweet, sweet song and the sweet voice of Olivia.
Found my peace in you, Lord. I have joy in you, Lord. If the world could know my happiness in you, oh Lord. Thoughts of you come drifting through at times throughout the day. Lord, I've come to know you in the stillness when I pray. And just to think that you could be my teacher, my savior, my friend, oh Lord. In you, Lord, I have found my peace. In you, Lord, I have joy. In you, Lord, if the world could know my happiness. In you, oh Lord. What you gave us long ago is just as real today. Lord, I feel your presence in a very special way. And just to think that you could be within me, to know me, to care, oh Lord. In you, Lord, I have found my peace. In you, Lord, I have joy. In you, Lord, if the world could know my happiness. In you, oh Lord. In you, oh
Do a bow. Stay, honey. Look. Just one more thing before you go all eat. I have heard her sing this multiple times, and look at me. Every time. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for Jim and Susie for organizing all our musical acts and helping them rehearse. For our tech crew that has faithfully been back at the boards at worship and through this whole thing. The good news is that the food is here and is ready. To tell you the truth, we were worried for a little while. It was late. It turns out that they went first to Grace Lutheran in Manitowoc before they came here. But they are here, and and food is ready. So if you'll stay in your seats for just one more moment, we'll say a grace and a blessing for the meal here before we go in there. And then as you head in for food, you can go right to the food line, go on through the main entrees. There are 3 options. Annie is trying to mime instructions to me, and I'm not getting it. But so you can get in line for the main entrees and which will be served to you, or the side dishes you can serve yourself will be part of that same line. And drinks and desserts then are on separate tables, and those are self-serve as well. So you can skip to that part if you don't want to wait in line the whole time, or you can help yourself to that later. And we've got, for desserts, we've got a variety of cupcake flavors from Jen's Java, and a few different cheesecake flavors from Linda's Cheesecakes. So to say the blessing and the grace for our meal this afternoon is our own beloved Kim Henning. Come on up, Pastor Kim.
Just a couple words before I do that. We miss you so much. It just hurts sometimes. We miss you. We were at the Lutheran church this morning. I was leading worship at the Lutheran church in Manitowoc, and we told stories of how when Bruce Honstead used to be one of our regular, and Cheryl once told me that she was afraid that he'd become too UCC and not Lutheran anymore. And I've been doing a number of Lutheran churches now, and I can anticipate Faith saying someday, I hope you don't become too Lutheran. But it's good. It's good. It's good to be back. Just a couple words. The last Sunday I was here, my father was right about where Jim was. And shortly after we left, he was diagnosed with cancer. He died about 9 months afterward. And it was a gift you gave me to be with him. And as we drove back and forth to be with him the evening he died, we listened to the CD. We didn't have anything to say, but we listened to the music. Thank you. Could I ask you to pray with me? There's nothing like the church you have given us, oh God, the people, the message, the promise. There's nothing like the church, oh God, the hope we hold together and the way we care for each other. There is nothing like the church that brings the young and the old and people of all diverse backgrounds together. We recognize your presence among us. Bless the food, our lives, our future. And thank you for Jesus Christ, in whom we live and die. Amen.